I love bad 80s horror movies. I love Alice Cooper. What about if you combine the two? Is it going to be awesome? Today, we're going to talk about Monster Dog. So, what is Monster Dog? Let me give you just the briefest of histories behind it. It was 1983. Alice Cooper was at the tail end of his blackout period, right? It's a period that he claims he doesn't remember anything about it. Too messed up on drugs and alcohol. He had just released his 1983 album, Dada, right? Great album, by the way. You should listen to it sometime. But he recorded this and he released it, and then he stopped. He didn't tour for this album. He went into rehab instead. And then once he came out clean and sober, which he's been sober since, so good job, Alice Cooper. Good job on that. He wanted to test out to whether or not he could work sober, so he decided to sign up for a low-budget 80s European horror movie. And that's where Monster Dog comes in. It's directed by Clyde Anderson. Now, if you don't recognize that name, well, it's a pseudonym. His real name is, and I pronounce these things very, very poorly because I have terrible pronunciation on some stuff. Claudio Fragrasso. Sorry if I said the name wrong, but if you don't recognize the name, he's also the guy who directed Troll 2, that cinematic masterpiece. That's right. So that should pretty much tell you what you're getting into. Now, the story of Monster Dog is Alice Cooper plays a rock star. Hey, how convenient. Named Vince Raven, which is also kind of funny considering Alice's real name is Vince. But, you know, that's a story for another time. So Vince Raven is bringing his crew back to his home, his childhood home, so he can record a new video for his song "See Me in the Mirror." Right. This movie contains two exclusive Alice Cooper songs, "Identity Crisis" and "See Me in the Mirror," and those songs were not available anywhere outside of this movie until 1999 when it was released on the Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper box set. That was the first time you could get them, other than like a limited to 100 release a few years earlier. But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about the box set today. We're talking about Monster Dog. So Vince brings his crew back, and then there's some, wild dogs that come out. Is Vince the monster dog? Is Vince the monster dog? I mean, the cover seems to pretty much imply that Vince Raven is the monster dog, but is he? It's kind of like a whodunit. Now, I loved this movie as a child. In fact, I bought the VHS tape of this from a mom and pop video store when I was a kid because I had to have it because I was such a huge Alice Cooper fan, such a huge horror movie fan. I just had to have it. I still have the tape to this day. Unfortunately, I don't have the cover art anymore, but I still have that VHS tape. And that VHS tape, we played the hell out of it when I was a kid. Me and my friends, we would watch this movie a lot. In fact, there was one night we did like a sleepover, and it was on repeat pretty much the entire night. And so it got to the point where we could just like quote it and everything. It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's not, if I wasn't such a big Alice Cooper fan and a big crappy horror movie fan, I probably would not like it nearly as much because it's let's just face it, it's not that good. It starts off as a horror movie, right? Building the atmosphere and all that stuff with them, driving through the woods trying to get to the house, and they're stopped by the police that are like, hey, these damn dogs are out here. You better watch out. Vince knows about these dogs. And, it's like setting some seeds of, hey, what's going on here? What is Vince not telling us, right? Crazy. He picked a fine time to come back home, didn't he? Yeah, kind of nuts. But then, if you've ever seen, one of the first couple Friday the 13th movies, there's a character named Crazy Ralph, right? And this movie has its own Crazy Ralph, just going around going, "You're doomed. You're all doomed," right? One of those type things. But then somewhere towards the end of the second act into the third act, it turns into a spaghetti western just out of nowhere. Like these other people show up, and you're like, what the hell is going on here? And there's like shootouts and all this kind of stuff before it turns back into a horror movie at the end. So it doesn't know what it wants to be. And the editing is pretty bad in some places. I mean, you'll see a shot of like the atmospheric fog rolling through, but you can clearly see where there's a cut and the fog just moves places like jump cuts. It's like come on, that was not. I know you didn't mean to do that. And in fact, I'm going to call him Clyde Anderson, the director of this movie. He said that this movie was edited, by somebody else that he wasn't involved in it, and he wasn't necessarily happy with it, which is crazy. He said 20 minutes of footage got cut out of the movie, which is a shame because it's only 84 minutes as it is. I would have loved some extra stuff in it just because I can't get enough of it. Victoria Vera plays Alice's producer / love interest in the movie, and she does a pretty good job. And she says the movie, filming it, was a horrible, horrible exercise, and she hated it, but she loved working with Alice. In fact, everybody said they loved working with Alice. He was really cool, even if he didn't know what he was doing. And one thing that I find very interesting about this, I don't know if this is something that a lot of these 80s European, horror movies did, but as they were filming it, everybody spoke in their native language. So like Alice would speak in English, where the other people would speak in, Spanish or Italian or whatever their languages were. And then everything is overdubbed at the end. So the voice you hear coming out of Alice in this movie is not Alice. It was overdubbed, which is just wild to me. But at least it matches up with his mouth, whereas everybody else, none of it matches up. It's just one of those beautiful things in bad movies, and I love it. Now, let's get into some spoilers. Spoiler alert, right? So towards the end of the movie, Alice he turns into the monster dog. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Alice turns into the monster dog. Now, I don't think he was originally the monster dog. I think the Crazy Ralph character was originally the monster dog, because there's a scene earlier in the movie where Vince sees, he sees the monster dog, and it scares him, and it's just like this big non-moving rubber head, which is just fucking great. I love it. But he gets bitten in the car, and then he transforms into the monster dog, and he begs his girl to shoot him and kill him, and that's how the movie ends. She shoots him. It cuts to an updated music video for Identity Crisis, which is crazy. So, yeah, this movie, I love it. You might not. Your mileage may vary. If you're a big Alice Cooper fan, or you just like really bad movies, you may love it. But for me, this is 5-star, top of the top. I love this. I can watch this movie anytime. And let me give a special shout out to Kino Lorber, who made this Blu-ray, right? Fantastic. I love it. It's the best I've ever seen this movie look. And because, before that, I'd only seen it on VHS. There's all kinds of special features on here. There are deleted scenes that I'd never seen before that are awesome. I mean, they're not awesome, but they're awesome to see. And, there's Lord of the Dogs featurette that's got new interviews and stuff. It's just crazy. They put a lot of care into this. For such a crap movie, I'm so glad that they did that. So yeah, check this out. I'll link a copy of this in the description. Check it out. I would recommend it, but especially if you're an Alice Cooper fan, and just look around me. I am. But if you're an Alice Cooper fan, pick it up. You won't be sad. You won't be sad. This is great. This is forget every other acting role Alice Cooper ever did. Monster Dog is where it's at. So yeah, thank you for watching this. I didn't know if I should put this on my music channel or the movie channel here, which, if I haven't told you, I do have a music channel. Link is in the description, where I just talk about music all the time. But this is more of a horror movie than it is music, even though it ties them both together. So, Side 4 music, check it out if you like music. Otherwise, I'll be back next time for another look. And maybe I'll do a good movie. It's not always going to be crap movies. Sometimes they'll be good. Let me know what you want me to watch, and maybe I will. I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Y'all have a good one. Bye.